What's up YouTube, it's Job, and today I'll be breaking down how to effectively secure knockdown using ring generalship, finding power shots to extend the rock state, and how important it is to mirror your opponent when seeking the knockdown. First, I'm going to show you an incorrect example of how my opponent approached me being rocked. Here I'm using Alexander Usyk versus Deontay Wilder. He's going to catch me with a straight right hand that puts me into a dazed state. First, I want you to take a look at the first three decisions he makes, which effectively puts me at an advantage. I begin retreating to his right side, which isn't ideal fighting Wilder. His first two punches thrown are severely out of position due to the way I'm retreating. He throws a left jab followed up by a left power hook. You shouldn't expect to land these punches if you're out of position. His biggest mistake was trailing - following me in a straight line. My opponent didn't look to cut me off, he simply tried to trail me and forfeited any chance at landing a devastating blow. What you should do, push up on the D-pad to engage loose movement, and gain the center of the ring. This gives you more options to attack than simply trailing your opponent. It cuts off multiple angles your opponent can take on the retrieve. If my opponent cut me off here, I wouldn't have continued retreating in the same manner. I would have had to move backwards or the opposite way, setting up a potential big left hand or being positioned for a right hook. I've slowed this down here to highlight what he should have done instead of just throwing. Sidestep to the side I'm retreating to. You'll gain position of the center line. Notice where my chest is facing compared to his. We aren't on center line. Granted, you would think a left hook should be able to work here, however, I'm still moving and the game doesn't have auto tracking, so it isn't going to land if you're out of position. He's out of position here, even though it might not look that way. Now here's a clip of me putting my opponent into a dazed state. Notice how I mirrored my opponent, and before I started throwing punches, I made subtle movements to assure I was in position. If I made the same mistake as my opponent did in the previous clip, I wouldn't have been able to land the power right to extend the rock state. He would have been in position for me to miss. After I extended the rock state with a power right hand, I made a similar mistake that my opponent did in the last clip and tried to rush the knockdown. I regrouped and angled my opponent off. I took two big steps forward and stepped off to the right to completely cut the angle of my opponent off from using the rope, similar to how I was retreating in the first clip. The mistake I made similar to my opponent was rushing the knockdown. If I had simply took my time from the power right hand that initially extended the dazed state, I would have been in position to knock him down there. Instead, I had to regroup due to trying to rush it and recenter myself to land the left that knocked him down. If I just went at him in a straight line like in the previous clip I showed you, I would have undoubtedly missed the chance at knocking him down. If I never cut inside and took the steps I needed to take inside here, it would have provided my opponent an easy out to my right, and I would have been stuck trying to land a shot I was out of position for. I'm not going to sugarcoat the fact that the game has some tweaking that needs to be done. However, you have to be open to rewiring your thought process and approach to Undisputed more than you ever have with other combat sports games. The free movement ability and angles they've designed for us in the game will be the paramount factor in defining the skill gap between players. If you liked the video, give it a like and subscribe. If you disagree with anything in the video, please comment below. I'm 100% open to discussion. The only way we can all get better as players as well as ensure that we get the best game possible is having legitimate discussion regarding the mechanics and gameplay. We have to remember, not all dazed states are the same, and while punches and animations could use refinement, not every punch thrown in the game will be the same. All in all, there's a plethora of options SCI has given us to dismantle our opponent in Undisputed. Thanks for watching.